Big Hero 6, the series, episode 4, and, I reviewed the other episodes and the Big Hero 6 movie. So if you'd like to see my thoughts on all that stuff, you can like, share, and subscribe. And if you like me talking about Disney movies and their various TV shows, well, stay tuned. I'm currently reviewing Tangled the series, and when I am done with some of these series, I'm going to do Lilo and Stitch the series, and so yeah, I would stay tuned for all that. But yeah, Big Hero 6 the series. This episode's pretty weak. So what's important to note of this show is that this show is spearheaded by the original creators of the original Kim Possible series, and that is one of Disney's second most successful show. It's a great show, but it's spearheaded by them, and because it's spearheaded by them, you're going to see a lot of similar elements. And this is an episode that kind of shows off it, but they're doing it in a weaker setting, in a weaker world. So we have Glabi, which Glabi is kind of what you would expect in Kim Possible, where you have a recurring villain that's kind of just a goofy side character that isn't really a threat. But unlike Kim Possible, where those characters are funny enough that you don't mind that they're such a threat, this character really isn't that funny or amusing at all. He's introduced this episode, doesn't really do anything. What he tries to do is a little ridiculous and over the top. He's just some random dude that becomes a glob man. And then, yeah. And then we also have the subplot here with Honey Lemon and Go-Go. They're moving into an apartment, and they kind of have to learn to get along. And it's kind of like, that's like a plot you would see in a little kid show. And it's like, I never expected these characters to get along, so is like this show surprising me? I mean, obviously they're friends, but I don't really get why any of these characters are friends. And what I think one of the best elements of the show is that's able to develop the side characters more. But I don't really get why Honey Lemon and Go-Go and characters like that are friends and stuff. And yeah, it's just a boring episode. It's not really an interesting story. The conflict between the characters isn't interesting, and the villain isn't interesting, and yet they keep kind of bringing him back. And he's fine in other episodes. I think just this episode in particular just shows the weakness of that character in particular. I really don't like this character. So yeah, that's all my thoughts on this episode. Stay tuned for next Monday, where I will be talking about episode 5 of Big Hero 6, the series. So